On fire. More than a dozen buildings and 100 cars were in flames last night, a fiery epilogue to the afternoon memorial for Freddie Gray. There's this massive...
Good day to our viewers. Welcome back to Talk Center. In today's video, we will be taking a look at some of the most savage protest moments, but first, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this and much more. Click the notification bell too so you don't miss out on any future videos. Now, let's get straight to this video. Number 1. You are about to see a protest that happened in Minneapolis in 2020. This protest turned out to be rather chaotic. Here, the police took major action against the protesters. This protest had a whole lot. Smoke bombs, police and riot shields, police firing pepper spray, and much more. It was pretty damn crazy.
You can see the smoke bombs in the distance, and police have been firing pepper spray to try and disperse this crowd. Hundreds of protesters had gathered here, and now police are trying to push them back to keep the peace.
They gathered hours before.
If you thought that was crazy, then you should have seen what happened later that night. There were some looters that stormed Target, and there was a point during the night where there were some places on fire. Check this out.
Overnight, Minneapolis on fire. Protesters leaving an auto parts store in flames. Others seen loot.
This was quite incredible. This was without a doubt one of the craziest BLM protests that you will ever witness. It was something that you usually see out of a movie. Minneapolis definitely takes the cake with this one. I don't think anyone would disagree. Number 2, democracy protests in Hong Kong became violent when at least 66 people were injured, including one protester who was shot by police. The protest took place on China's national holiday. Things escalated so much that a Hong Kong police officer shot a protester in the chest at close range Tuesday, leaving the teenager bleeding and howling on the ground. There was even a part of the protest where there was a full-on brawl between the protesters and the police. Things were pretty damn crazy out there, and like you wouldn't believe, all the excessive force, the violence, but then the shooting of a teenager. It was definitely an insane sequence of events, and unfortunate ones too. Number 3. Baltimore was in flames back in 2015 after some protests erupted into complete chaos. We are talking houses and cars up in flames as a result of these protests. Check it out.
Baltimore on fire. More than a dozen buildings and 100 cars were in flames last night, a fiery epilogue to the afternoon memorial for Freddie Gray. There's this massive...
These are genuinely surreal. They were really crazy out there for this one. Number 4. The next protest comes from Kiev in Ukraine. This protest was going crazy. The protesters were trying to defend themselves from police using Molotov cocktails and even some fireworks. It really looked like something out of a movie. Lots of smoke, explosions, and a whole city burning. The police fired back with some armed vehicles trying to break down the barricade that was made by protesters. There was also some stun grenades that they used to try to get the better of the protesters, though as it turns out the protesters were able to defend and the police retreated for the time being. There was a lot of deaths and injuries, and everything there was complete chaos. Just prior to that night of protesting, the Ukrainian health ministry said that 25 people died. Number 5. Well, from one bit of chaos to another, we have an incredible event that happened in Portland. At a protest, there was a federal agent that came to the scene to intervene at the protest. As you are about to see, that just turned everything from 0 to 100. Take a look at this.
Federal agents sent to restore order in Portland have poured petrol on disorder. What was a largely peaceful protest has escalated into violence.
It was all happening in front of the federal courthouse. The federal agents had to put fences in front of it to prevent the protesters from making in towards the courthouse. The protesters were trying their best to take the wall down. Amidst all this happening, they were throwing fireworks over the fence. The federal agents replied with some tear gas toward the protesters. Eventually, the agents went a step further into the chaos and started firing some rubber bullets at the protesters. This was all happening in the dark, too. Pretty damn scary. Take your pick of the craziest protest between this and Minneapolis. They are both top contenders in this list. Those are some pretty damn crazy protests. Which do you think was the most savage? Let us know down in the comment below. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this and much more. We will see you guys in the next video, but until then, take care.